Welcome to another travel edition of Great Health, Abundant Happiness, and Outrageous Love. We stayed here as always, so excuse the packing, the mess, but we're heading out the door. Hey, Kiki.
Welcome.
I didn't tell them where we were. We're in Portsmouth, New Hampshire.
Yes,
This is
the Sheraton, Portsmouth, New Hampshire. We've done videos on the Sheraton before, but we have never stayed in this section of the hotel. So we thought we were going to do another video because honestly, we didn't even know that this section existed. It sort of feels like at one point maybe they had owners, and maybe they still do. I don't know, but this definitely feels like somebody's.
Yeah, this is a pretty big suite.
Yeah.
A little dated, but it's kind of great to see this. The thing that I love best about this is the view. You're right on the river. If you guys know Portsmouth, New Hampshire, there's the Piscataqua River there, the big salt pile. And actually got a little deck here, which is kind of nice. It's cold out here today, but in the summer, this will be nice. Fairy Landing's down there around the right, but right down the center of Portsmouth. So this is a great place to stay, as most of the hotels here are located very well.
Absolutely, and this is part of the Marriott brand. If it were nice out, that would be a highlight, and definitely I would be super excited. But it is pretty chilly, so we had our coffee inside today. I really like all of the Portsmouth, New Hampshire hotels that we stay in, and we always stay in the Marriotts, although I think we stayed in the Hilton once. But we do bounce around a lot, and for no particular reason, we always stay in one where we can walk to town. We went to dinner at Five Thai Spice last night, one of our favorites here, and we did walk. I think it was a 9-minute walk. We walked right through Portsmouth, and all the holiday lights are on.
Beautiful.
People were singing Christmas carols by a huge lit up tree. If you haven't been to Portsmouth, New Hampshire, or you haven't been here in the past, maybe 10 years?
Yeah.
Come here. It is so different than it was 15 and 20 years ago. It is really a beautiful and charming place. It's really a must visit.
It's great. Let's just do a quick flow through the rest of the place before you rate it. So full kitchen, right? You don't usually see that.
You don't. Full kitchen, full oven and stove, full refrigerator, microwave.
It's really like a little apartment.
It is.
Yeah.
That's why I'm wondering if at one point this was, these were owner occupied. And as Jeffrey mentioned, this part of the hotel is very dated. Our last stay, we were in a really beautiful suite that was completely updated. And this one is very, very dated. It feels like I'm possibly in my grandmother's apartment.
Yeah.
Right?
This is the biggest surprise, the bed. I think this is a double, not a queen.
Right.
It's like you have this massive suite with a double bed.
We walked in here, and what's interesting is, because we're Marriott and we're ambassador level, if available, we usually get upgraded to a suite. But we had booked a king room, so it was really cute. A new girl checked us in who was incredible. But she said, I've upgraded you. You had a king room booked, and I upgraded you to a such and such suite. So we were like, oh, thank you so much. We didn't even ask because it's one night. And when we walked in the door, we're like, wow, this is a really big room. And when we walked in here, we're like, So for some people, if you're getting upgraded, the size of the bed is really, really important. It turned out to be just fine, and we had a great night's sleep. But I would have preferred a king bed over a double.
Yeah, this place is great if you've got like a family event here and you've got a lot of family in town, because that out living area is huge.
Yes.
This bedroom's not great, and then the bathroom too is a little small.
The bathroom is. Wow, I'll tell you what, you've got to be careful. That toilet is so low.
I don't know if you can tell, but that thing is like, it's like a little toadstool.
It is, and even the the sink is lower, and in the kitchen I noticed the cabinets are super duper low. So that shows you how dated it is, because back then that's the way they did it. Now everything's much taller. So let's go through our rate.
Okay, yeah, because we have to roll on to Vermont. So we go through the 5 Pearl rating system. So first and foremost, location. Obviously, this is Portsmouth. It's a great location.
Great location.
I'm going to come out here because the light's better.
You can walk anywhere and everywhere, in the Portsmouth area, to all the cute little cafes and restaurants and shops from here. So that's amazing. Please note, that parking is extra, and it's either $30 or $35 per night.
Right.
If you opt in. We're only here one night, so we did not take parking because we knew that we were going to be out last night, and by the time we came back, the street parking was going to be free, and we're leaving early in the morning.
And that's a good hack to know, because if you can park on the street after, I think it's 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock for free, you don't have to pay again till 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock the next day. So if you're out and about and doing things and you don't want to pay the parking, you can find a spot usually on the street fairly easily. In the summer, though, I would caution against that, because as my dad was just saying, they had a holiday thing going on. He couldn't park downtown. Right.
So I would take the option that includes the parking, because then I don't know, you save yourself a few bucks. But just so you know, $30 is the minimum to park here. So if there's an option to include parking and it's less than $30, I would just grab that. And you get in and out privileges.
So location, 5 pearls. The people that we met have been incredible, right? 1 to 5 pearls. What do you give them?
You know, it's been a dichotomy, which is unusual because we're in New Hampshire, and Jeffrey and I always say, isn't it great when you come here? And we just came from New York. And then we're going to Vermont. But in New York, nobody lets you in if you're trying to cut into traffic. Here, everybody stops and lets you in, and they're very pleasant. But I did notice that the bartender was a little bit less than social. He didn't want to engage with anybody directly. He was more, I'm doing my job and I'm a professional and that's about it. So, that was, I wouldn't say he gets 5 pearls because he didn't engage us.
I liked him. I know what you mean.
Yeah,
and then the gal that checked us in is definitely a 5 plus. She's brand new. She was sweet and bubbly and just great. But this morning I told you I went down, like there was someone down there. It was like, I went down there like 5:36 in the morning. They've been there all night. Seemed like she didn't really want to get up and help. But at the end of the day, it's just, I know how it is if you're on the end of your shift. You've been up all night. But
that's the shift that you chose.
Right,
It really shouldn't matter. So when Jeffrey came back up and said, wow, that was really unhelpful. So it's hard. I mean, some of them were 5 plus and some of them were like a 2 plus. And I have to give a shout out to the charming girl who runs the club lounge. Their club lounge, by the way, in comparison to other club lounges is, on a 1 to 5 pearls, and we should start adding that for people.
Yeah.
I'd probably give it a 1.5.
Yeah.
Really minimal.
It's basic stuff.
Limited.
Chips, yogurts, soda, sparkling water.
It's there and it's available. So
they did have hot apps last night though that we wouldn't partake in, but they do have that, which is kind of.
They had 2 hot apps anyway. So if you're coming for that, that would not be a perk a reason to stay here.
Right.
But she was so charming and so sweet, and I saw her throughout the bar and the club lounge area, and so I want to give her a shout out. 5 pearls to her. So that's our rating on the people. I'm just going to.
So all in all, probably
1.5 and 5. So I'm going to leave it at that because the people that were 5.
I agree.
The girl who checked us in, she was 5 plus.
Right.
So I don't want to detract from that.
Okay, so then next let's go to Cleanliness. I mean, this place is dated, but I didn't have any issues. But you're the big stickler on this. Like, what did you think?
So on Cleanliness, little things, because I look around because I know people want to know. So there is a cobweb up there. It's overall clean. It's so dated that it's hard for it to be perfectly clean. So I'm going to give it a 4. I'm not really going to blame the housekeeping so much because it's dated. It's hard to get it any cleaner. But it was clean and it felt okay.
I think that's fair. 4. Okay, then the next would be sleepability and quietude. So I'm just going to say, this is, we're on a busy street here, but the hotel is pretty quiet. This is a pretty quiet section. As far as noise, I didn't really hear any noise.
I didn't hear any noise either. And when we first got off the elevator, I was a little nervous because this room is right next to the elevator. And as I was in here packing our stuff up and Jeffrey was out, I could hear the elevator dinging from this room. Now, from the bedroom, I heard nothing.
So
as far
quiet.
as I'm concerned, it's really most important with the bedroom. But if that would bother you, if you're here chatting and you can hear the outside hallway or the dinging of the elevator, which is attached to this wall, then you might want to pick a different room. I think, what'd you say, we're 438.
Yeah. With that being said, though, the bed was very soft and comfortable. We're way too small. It's too small. So I'm gonna give the bed a 2. So it's quietude and sleepability. You know, I think it's quiet here, and the location is great. So high rating, the bed low rating because it was just too small for two people.
And let's not even talk about the pillows because, first of all, they had pillowcases on them. They're larger pillows, and the pillowcases were standard. So the pillowcases didn't fit.
I didn't even notice that.
I know. It's not something that you would notice, but I always notice. I'm a real pillow aficionado. And they were super inexpensive foam pillows. Not one out of the 4 was a decent pillow that, you know, they were super inexpensive, cheap pillows. So I'm with you on the 2 for the.
Okay, so then 2 to 5, so it's to cut it down the middle, it's 3.5 would be the average. If you got 5 for quietude and the bed was a 2, it would be 3.5 overall in sleeping, I guess.
Oh, sleeping, yes.
Yeah.
I'll give you that, but the bed itself and the pillows,
And
etc.
the last one is coffee. You know, I'm not a huge fan of these machines that you see. They're like these little things you pour water in. They're tiny. You know, they work. But, you know, I'm not a big fan of those. Not great. The coffee in the club lounge was broken. That wasn't their fault. The machine's down. That's terrible. But that thing needs to be fixed like stat.
Right.
So I was down there trying to get coffee this morning. No one was down there. I couldn't find anyone in the restaurant. So I saw the coffee behind the bar and I went and helped myself because no one was there to help me and no one at the front desk could help. So that being said, coffee, I'm going to give them 2. Yeah, because the coffee was good when I got it. And again, this is kind of standard. It's okay. It's great. It works. But, you know, the coffee downstairs was again, I was down there early, 6 a.m. and supposed to be ready at 6 in the club lounge. It wasn't because it's broken.
Right.
And I couldn't find anyone in the restaurant. So, yeah. So overall, would we stay here again? Absolutely.
Absolutely. I want to make that clear because we really gave them some tough ratings on some things. I mean, you can't have a broken coffee in the club lounge and not have it available anywhere else. You know, that's wrong because.
Well, you got to put a pot of coffee down there.
Exactly.
Right.
And that wouldn't be a big deal for them to do that, but they didn't do it, and it is the holiday, and it's, you know, it's a lot of hustling and bustling going on.
Yeah.
So yes, we ding them because we want them to know where they can improve. But would we stay here again? 100% we will. But again, we bounce around. We love all of the hotels that are here in Portsmouth, and part of it is we just love Portsmouth. Wishing you great health, abundant happiness, and outrageous love from the Sheraton in Portsmouth, New Hampshire.
Great. I'm going to take one more look out of the view here, and then we're going to head off for Burlington, Vermont. So stay tuned for our next adventure. But yeah, Piscataqua River. This place is a great spot in the summer. Great now, too. It's beautiful.